Ukraine conflict decoded. Let's be clear from the beginning. We don't take part or side in war, never. In war, people are dying, get harmed, suffer, lost homes, and this is never acceptable. It is their divide and rule game. If we choose a side, we are part of their game. We are also not here to justify someone's shit. Not the Russians, not the Ukrainians. We just show where and to who the shit belongs. And it's not because we expose one side that we agree with the other side. This silly duality game is all over and exactly what makes war possible. Play one side against another. So we will look at this like box combat, yeah, and we are like the combat commentator, and look where the fast hits are coming from and what techniques is used, but we are not taking any sides. It's like also this fake neutrality, we are already part of it. But of course we are like the guy who never went into the ring, but knows how to spot out all the dirty tricks. We never was into war nor support it, but we know how, why and what purpose war are made. Rumors of war always make headlines. Many facts are always coming many years later, very little in the newspaper. Or not. To comprehend a conflict on the world stage, we need a couple of things to get a clear view about what is really going on. And just listening or agreeing on one or other side of the propaganda will make us to collaborators of the same conflict. It is always lie propaganda what makes war possible. But people who are against war and take part in the hatred of one or the other side are the real warmongers and the perfect tool for the warmongers or makers. There is not a good or a bad. This is not good vs bad. This is the Masonic monopoly chessboard duality game playing police and bandit, big cat and Mickey Mouse. Good and bad is only a selfishly declaration of the observer. It doesn't exist as such at all. So in this case we are all against life. They are all against life, both sides, yeah. But for Satanists who have given up life, they are still the good ones. So provocation, aggressor claim to be the victim, attack or defense, vice versa. If you want to win a war in any outcome, play both sides. This is what Jesuit Rome handler have made over centuries. War, conflicts, crisis is what they need to make their world order in question is always who takes the benefit. Yeah, this is the real question. So let's get into it. It is not done in 5 minutes. That's why we also did not just jump on the subject and waited until something is also to expose here. So as the 5 principles of war propaganda, this is from a French journalist in investigation, Michel Collomb in France. So the first is to hide the economic interest behind the war. to occult the history, to hide the history, or to change the history for to defend the purpose why to go to war. Like looking bad by images, so making make the adversary or the other side looking bad by image, and so on. This is what we're going to look into mainly. And inverse the aggressor and the aggressed, and who is the victim, plain victim, and so on. And of course have a monopoly of information, and to silence all the other voices. And this is exactly what we have. Yeah? We have full censorship all over the place. So in case this video is not here anymore, you will find it on the website. And he also proposed another thing is the ABC. Assume nothing, believe nothing, and check everything. So this is what we have done. We have, if an information came out, we always went on both sides of the propaganda to verify what could be happen. And anyway, never take any propaganda for granted, never. So this is how it works. Yeah, now the whole Western side is stand with Ukraine, using pictures that have nothing to do with the war. Again, using the imagery. Also, Russia declared war on Ukraine. And just let's look into the terms of war. War, to make war on. Okay, so this is and also what they say. Russia is making an invasion of Ukraine, an assault attack of entering a country or territory as an enemy. This is what invasion means. Invasion, attack, assault, infringement by intrusion, encroachment by entering or to taking away what belongs to other. And there it gets very... on one side, the Russians say they are not going into any other territory. We will look into why they are saying that. And from the other side, they are saying they are coming into the country and destroying everything. That's why we are calling it conflict. It's a fight, it's a struggle to strike together, be in conflict, meaning be in opposition, be contrary, at variance. But what we clearly can say, it is war there. Bombs, houses are destroyed all over the place, so we can't say there is no war. But does Russia declare war on Ukraine? Again, this is something they are not saying. But let's go through a little bit what they say. So now even they call Putin a war criminal. And we have, I mean, a war criminal, does it means it is a criminal because he doesn't accept the game of the war? That is what is supposed to mean. But war is already criminal. So it is completely nonsense to call someone a war criminal. And also we're going to look into who is calling war criminal. Again, we are not defending any side or anything. We are just putting the facts on the table. But is there a war? If there is war crimes are done, we will go into that too. And they even now call out for genocide. This is, of course, strong words. And so from the Russian side, the goal is to liberate the Donbass. This is the eastern and southern part of Ukraine, where people are speaking mainly, or where people are Russian in this part of Ukraine. And yeah, this is the southern part here. This is Donbass from here, and Crimea. We will go into that too. So this is all Russian speaking and mainly Russian Russians living in Ukraine. And Ukraine was created, of course, like this is also a very important part. The idea of nation is not even 100 years old. This or maybe a little bit more than 100 years, but that's it. Before there was no nation, and there was no border, there was no birth certificate. So to claim that Ukraine is like 1,000 years old, no. Of course, people lived on the earth. And also what the Russians are saying, they're fighting neo-Nazis, so they want to denazify Ukraine. We also go into that, who is really, they call Nazified. And what they call it is a special military operation. Again, this is the Russian propaganda against the Western propaganda, this propaganda against propaganda. But again, we can't say there is no war there. People are suffering, losing houses, whole cities are destroyed. I mean, to say there is no war and there is no harm done, in every war there is harm done, and is unacceptable. If people are coming to that place, they really just can admit that they they don't know what they do. So let's see further. Come on. So to say that on one side they say people want Russians there, and on the other side, I can't make this louder. But they are just shouting very loud. So here people are against Russians. Yeah, they are protesting and try to push the Russian army out of the city. The Russian call them provocateurs. Yeah, and on the other side. On the other side, people are welcome the Russian army. They drive through the whole city. Let's watch this. Here, like 5 minutes video, you can see they're driving through, people even stopping by, bringing them stuff. And I mean, you can say what they want. On one part of they welcome, and on the other they want to let them go. But we will understand why this is really happening like that. Okay, let's move on. So for the Western side, Putin is the devil, and Zelensky, of course, Zelensky, both are puppets, yeah, and behind Zelensky is Europe and America and NATO and UN and so on. So they are calling Putin the new Hitler, and the hero. Yeah, it's like always zero and hero. This is exactly the game they want us to participate, and put Zelensky in a very cute form. On the other side, to even allow or motivate to post violence against Russians or Putin. And this is, I mean, this never happened before. Even to have a video on Twitter pretending to kill like ISIS killed someone, and the video is not even censored. I mean, we came on the other side. All medias of the Russian medias are blocked everywhere. I mean, this is never seen before. We had Trump, even if we don't agree with Trump, but to block a president from Twitter, then blocking the whole stuff about the pandemic, and then now even blocking out the whole country. This is never happened before. So we really have to ask what kind of guy this is, because he is an actor, yeah, and he have some really some very strange kind of. Of course, this is an actor who play, and because he was always on the green screen. He put himself in Minecraft to say he is still in Ukraine. So further on, they even this was yesterday. They arrested the main opposition leader of the democratic government. He's handcuffed because they say he is with Russian only because he doesn't agree. So calling out for a dictator, we always have to be careful who we're going to call out. And on the other side, Putin is the hero. Yeah, there is hero and zero. And of course, many of the whole Q movement hype Putin as the hero. This is exactly the game they want. Again, if we take sides, we have blood on our hands because we are part of this whole thing. Yeah, all wars are based on lies. Yeah. And in all wars, they only show the ugly side of the opposite. Yeah, and everything what they do, they are always glorify, and they have a lot of media propaganda and even some Instagram and Telegram journalists who are 100% pro Ukraine or pro Russian. Yeah, this is always to play the good guy versus the bad guy, and there is no such thing. Yeah. They are just puppet on strings. And he is, of course, an actor, talking about even to read Mein Kampf. Yeah? And the funny thing is, the media, this is what the media was telling before the invasion or the war began in Ukraine. So this is how the Western covering Ukraine before the war. Welcome to Ukraine, the most corrupt nation in Europe. Ukraine president will become increasingly corrupt. Yeah. The IMF ranks Ukraine as the Europe's poorest country. Ukraine neo-Nazi problems. Ukraine deadly profession. 3 journalists attacked in July. And so on. I mean... yeah. So many think that it is the question of the oil, but of course there is on both sides they're in the same game. They are puppets on the strings. So there's not only the gas, there's also NATO mercenaries, yeah, false flag, provocation. So this and this is a long game. I mean, they feed this Russian fear for 100 years now. Yeah, or the whole generation is here in Europe. They all fear Russians, and even in America, they always, if the politicians mess up something, there's always the fault of the Russians. I mean, this game was going on since long time, since even they were all in the same thing. Yeah, I mean, they all. Wall Street paid both sides since hundreds of years now. Yeah, they and this is what we said. If you want to win a war, then you have to play on both sides. So again, this is the most reality we can show about what is really going on. They are both puppets on strings, and this is the bloody game they play. They sit behind on the same table. They sit on the same table. Yeah, I mean, this is not just an old saying, but if they sit on the same table, then they are in the same club. So now people are like defending Ukraine without even knowing what is really going on there. But the war didn't start this year. The war is going on since 2014. And 14,000 people died since. And this was inside of Ukraine. So, of course, they call about freedom, but not the medical freedom. This is, of course, not a freedom. And again, world attention to Ukraine and Palestine and Libya, Iraq, Yemen, Bosnia, Kashmir, all forgotten. Yeah, this is exactly how. And when it started, people don't even knew how to write Ukraine. This was the most trending Ukraine. Yeah. And even the TV, yeah, they even didn't knew what was really going on. They put Bulgaria instead of Romania. Yeah, you can see this is Romania, not Bulgaria. So they really mess up. So for people who don't know what we are talking about, we talk about Ukraine. And the most conflict is in these 4 regions here, mostly these 2, and they have war since 2014. These 2 want to get independent, and this is what happened. They declared independence accepted by Russia, and that's why and they asked for protection. So the Russians came in to defend their independence. This is, of course, the whole political game behind, and the reason why politically, legally, war is always legal. Yeah, this is the bullshit that is going on. So this was these 2 regions were really on the heavy attack since 2014, and now Russia came into that was quite in the beginning. So they And even Western media, they claim that Russia don't even arrive to come into the city, but they don't want to go into the city. They went straight forward. So this is, of course, do not go into the city, but just take a huge part of the land. And where the big war is now going on is in this side. They also retreat then, so we can see. This is what the aerial attack, they destroyed the whole aerial defense, the planes and so on. And this one, so this is how it goes. And this is how they call it from the beginning. They said exactly what they want to do. And this is what the Russians are doing, no matter the sanctions. We go into that too. But so they have like 3 phases to go into different territories, retire what they did. They are no longer here anymore, and now they are coming in this side and take in this huge region here. And they're talking about 300,000 soldiers getting one of each other. We are not there. We cannot say if that is true, but this would mean like 70, 90,000 Ukrainians vs 150 or 200,000 Russians. So again, they didn't went into the city itself. Yeah, they was talking about that the Russians come into the city, but they never went further than that into the city. And this is their technique of war. But again, the whole war in Donbass started long time ago, and people just didn't knew. Today they are like pro-Ukraine, but they are not even aware that the war there is going on so long. It started, of course, in '91 with the collapse of the USSR, and then I mean, Ukraine is in the middle between Russia and the Western countries since always. So they are like, it depends who is the president. He will be more pro-Europe or pro-Russia. They need support, so they have to handle with what they get. So in March 2014, there was a full uprising because the people didn't get what they want. And so since then, the country get more and more split up. And even they want to push out the Russians. They even want to make to speak Russian illegally. Everyone in Ukraine speaks Russian. It's like the second language, was the second official language, and they want to take that away. So a lot of people in Ukraine are Russians since always. If you go a little bit into the whole symbolic of the logo, so this is the logo of Ukraine. Looks like Nimrod, yeah, like Babylon. So this is the International Legion with the sword. Lily, sorry, this is the lily symbol. So we can more and more see the different logos. And also they have Ukraine, American Society of Texas, Ukraine, Nationalist, yeah, and this Nationalist, here we have it, is linked to Bandera, and Bandera, Stepan Bandera was collaborating with the Nazis. Everyone can look this up, yeah. organization of Ukraine Nationalists. And this is the right-wing fascist, yeah, similar to Italian fascism. Here's the emblem, the flag. We will see that too. So this is all part of this, what they have. Also, we can here see the fasces, symbol of the fascist star, and also the temple cross, where they even get, they have this one on the military uniform. And again, here we have the lily a bit more explained. So it's always, we are in the same thing, of course. Also, that this whole conflict with Russia was planned. Yeah, this is this. Here we have it. Rand Corporation. Everything was written in the plan of Rand Corporation. Use Ukraine to falter Russia, tarnish its image, and inflict heavy economic sanctions. This is what the study by influential US think tank recommends in 2019. Specialists in NATO strategy Maniello Di Nucci had already spoken about it in the time. He returned the application of his diabolical plan to the Russian reaction. So this is a French article, but yeah, this is, we think is here. Yeah, joint of Russian Federation and the people are this with China. Let's see, where is this? Here. With the Chinese partnership organization. This was all planned, yeah, but we don't find this article anymore. Okay, let's move on. Here, consensus proposal of a revisited regional order of post-Soviet Europe and Eurasia. Rand organization publication. You can check it out for yourself. And revise regional order. So they have, in all this Rand Corporation, they have fixed it already. And Biden admit in 1997 NATO expansion would cause Russian hostile reaction. Here is the interview, you can listen to yourself. Joe Biden admitted in 1997 NATO expansion into the Baltic state would cause vigorous and hostile reaction by Russia. So they planned the whole stuff. How we learned to love the New World Order. That was 92. Joe Biden. Why not breathe life into UN Charter? Yeah. So this is the whole plan, of course. So there are many different goals and people who profit out of conflict and war. Yeah. Of course, on one side we have the whole weapon producers who needed their punch after that the whole big pharma took all the money. They also want to get their part of the cake. On the other side, of course, the whole oil companies, they want to promote their expensive gas. Yeah, they talk about to make even more of this fracking gas stuff, completely toxic. And yeah, everyone saw how the oil price get up, and even Russia is still providing, yeah, big time. They didn't stop. Yeah, we can get this article. even Nord Stream 1 say gas supply to Europe via pipeline continue. Yeah, this is still, they still do it, and they even pay in rubles now. Yeah. So of course the whole food industry, to make, as we already said, to empty the whole shops, and of course the whole economic. I mean, if we watch on the on Wall Street, everything goes okay. We are in a crisis, almost people talking about a world war, but the economy is just continue to go up. And of course, now they talk about digital currency. Yeah, everything is good for pretext to make something happen and bring their agenda forward. And of course, we never have to forget the World Economic Forum. And let's be clear, everything goes by plan. If people are saying that now Russia is against the global agenda, this is completely bullshit. I mean, if they want to make a new world order, they have to destroy it on another side, and this is exactly what's happening, and this is all per plan. It is part of the Great Reset. They are friends with China and Russia. So of course, one thing was gone in like 1 week when everyone was struggling, quote, with this little thing. So since the war started, everything's changed. It is not in every country, but like here in Switzerland, all the measurements are gone. And everyone is focused on the war and crisis. And in Germany, they empty the shops for oil and stuff. That, yeah, they just empty the stores, even if there's no crisis yet. But everyone, of course, is preparing for this. Is mental preparing. And to stop the whole Russian products bring a lot of people in big trouble in Europe, because it's not only oil. And the goal, of course, is to make order out of chaos. So more chaos there is, more people are fear and scared what is going on. Empty the shops. More panic there is there, better is going, economic is going up. And of course, Europe and Ukraine, they are completely hand in hand. As it is with America, their full support. They just announced another huge, even some helicopters now are coming. It is to divide. This is also something we never had before, yeah, or yeah, I would say never before, because the Russian hatred. 2 years ago, it was the Chinese because of the bat that came with a flu, and last year it was the ones who didn't want to get jabbed. And now it is the Russians. So it is like every year we have like a new hatred, and it is just taking so huge dimension that is the complete division, and it's perfect. It's all going by agenda. Yeah, one have to play the bad guy, and the other play the good guy. But Rome never felt. I mean, Russia have the double-head eagle the double-headed eagle is the phoenix, of course. This is Rome is present all over, and this is just exactly what is going on. They have everything in control, and everything is going by plan, as they always wish. So now this is not the coat of arms of the Rothschild, but it is, of course, the Roman Empire. Many people put the Rothschild in the head of the conspiracy and the influential, but the ego of each of just more up they are, big ego they have, more they are destroyed, more they will destroy. This is what is going on. We don't have to search to point fingers, just to comprehend what is going on. So it's always played on this Masonic red or blue pill, and this is of course exactly what they're making, like as we say, it's like boxing combat. So the whole propaganda and the whole main programming, this MK Ultra, this pre-programmed manipulation is going on all over, no matter where they have this stuff. This is of course all symbolic, Masonic, no matter where we look at. So now we can talk about the sanctions. And by the way, we prepared this video already since the beginning of the conflict, and just everything is exactly happening as we already made it. The video is already prepared since 1 month. We just added a lot of more information in it. But this is exactly what is happening. Yeah, they pretend to conflict damage on Russia with these sanctions, but the real sanctions and the consequences are the American and the other side of the people. Yeah, pay a lot of gas, everything. The food get already more expensive. And this is exactly the same conflict we already had in 2008. Everyone was talking about this crisis, but the only crisis was the bank. And they get paid out, but not for nothing. Because everything got more expensive and people just accepted because the media talked about a crisis, and it was just a justification again. And this is exactly what is happening now. People say, yeah, there's war, things will get more expensive, or we have to turn off the heat, and this is what is going on now, but like in Germany, the stuff gets already way more expensive, and again, these numbers are from February, yeah. So again, this stuff is everything gets more expensive, and it's just a justification. So again, who makes sanctions against Russia? Is it really the whole world who makes sanctions against Russia? If we look after the population, don't look after the size. This is something different, but just the quantity of the people that would be, it is not the majority of the people. And now, he wants unfriendly countries to pay ruble for gas. Why he do that? The thing is, before it was paid in euro or in dollar, and they paid it on account in Europe, and now they just blocked all this account with billions on it. So he want to get paid directly in ruble. And again, this is all part of the plan. I mean, the whole dollar have to fall. This is, if the dollar fall, everything will fall. So the petrodollar crack. Saudi Arabia consider accepting yuan for Chinese oil sales. They all change now on different devices, and this is only to crack the US dollar. And this is not a winning game. Yeah, because everything will crack down. We are not that it will remain, but we have to comprehend what this means. This means that finally they just open the door to China and Russia to take over the whole control of the new world. And this is what they are doing. And everyone is behind that. We have to see that. Russia war could shrink the Ukraine economy by 45 this year, the World Bank says. So it is not only, it's damaging for everyone. I mean, this is not Russia. If the ruble is even going up since the beginning of the crisis and this whole sanctions, and everyone is saying they are used to suffer, and they can suffer for 2 years. Europe and America is not prepared to suffer for 2 years. They can maybe handle it for maybe 2 months. This is what most people say. And again, this a lot of people said, yeah, they stopped the Nord Stream. So a lot of people, they don't even know what the Nord Stream means. This is the pipeline directly from Russia to Germany. And there are 2 pipelines. So they have a new one, the Nord Stream 2. And like showed, it is Nord Stream 1 is still continue to flow with oil. So the only thing that could really hurt Russia at the moment is to really stop getting gas. And this is impossible because 40% of gas is coming from Russia. It is very little that is coming from others, and they cannot replace it, and they don't have the pipelines. I mean, this was done over so long time. They just want to cut off the gas. That is just impossible. And of course, it is also like the whole Donbass, where the people are more Russians, is the real industry of Ukraine. So to show what is really happening in Ukraine is a huge country and a lot of production. So they produce a lot of tons of corn, and the production just really went down. This is the production of iron. Sorry. This is the production of iron. And of course, since 2014, and there is war, the whole production of the iron went completely down. Yeah. And so this is, of course, an economic problem for Ukraine. And so that's why they really want to start a cleansing. They want to make a genocide in this region to chase the rebel. I mean, the rebel of any government are always terrorists, if you have already noticed. So the global production, Ukraine is ranked first in sunflower wheat, 16 corn, yeah, and so on. So is a huge farmer country. It's a huge country for iron and coal. So this is the whole export where the things are going from Ukraine, and a lot, of course, is going to Europe. So that's why also Europe have a very huge interest in Ukraine. So if they are saying Russia wants war, look how close they put their country on our to our military bases, and this is exactly what people have to recognize. There was an agreement that they will stop the extension of NATO around Russia, and they just continue to make war again. Yeah, they have the ones who accuse Russia to be aggressive have a lot of blood on their hands already. So Putin, where will he stop? Of course, yeah. And the Economist and Bush now waging the war of peace. So again, if you compare this, of course, you have to give all the credits to Putin, and this is what a lot of people do who comprehend the problem. But this is exactly their game they want us to play. They want us, exactly because of all these arguments, they want us to go on the Russian side, because this is the new world order. It's preparing the new world order. So again, the economists, yeah, always have to favor it on the US side, of course. And the titles are just Obama's war, a hard reading but necessary war, blood and oil, hit him hard. Yeah, but of course, if others do anything, then they are the bad guys. So these are the US interventions since World War II. This a lot of interventions, bomb attacks, sabotage, attempt to regime change. Yeah. So to think that really Putin is the aggressor when he never attacked any country. But again, not to defend what is going on in Russia. But America is known to deal with real extreme groups, yeah, like ISIS and even Al-Qaeda. They admit that they create Al-Qaeda, that they financed and created Al-Qaeda, ISIS, yeah, and now this Azov, we will go into it. And this is so what happened in let's go back here. This happened in Iraq, where the 80 kilometers of bombarded humanitarian convoy by Americans, and they never get. And the funny thing is also that Biden is calling Putin a war criminal and vice versa. But they are both not agreeing with the International Court of Justice. So it's funny that Biden is accusing of war crimes when they have committed many war crimes, and they are not even agreeing with the International Court of Justice for war crimes. So to more comprehend the whole situation, what is going on, and also like what Russian did or not. So this is Russian in 1942, 1944, 1945. Yeah. So we can see, let's start again. Yeah. This is Russia. This is Nazi Germany. So if you can see, they pushed in 44, they pushed Nazi Germany further back, and the Russian did that, not the Americans. So when the Americans saw that Russian is pushing Nazi Germany into their corner, they came. Yeah, in 45. So in 45 they say that they liberated Germany, but of course Germany is today still an occupied territory from the alliance, France, England, no longer Russia, because Russia went back. We can see here they further went back and more back, and this was so they went further back, and this is what this almost look like today. They take this one here and Crimea, and this was where everything started, when they claimed that Russia was entering into Ukraine and take Crimea. But this is completely different, of course. And 2022, when they came back into Ukraine. So they have a Warsaw Pact. Yeah, this was in 1990, and this was said that this have to stay like that. So that all these countries here was not supposed to be NATO country, and today you can see all these countries around here are NATO countries, and of course not Ukraine, and this is what Russians want to prevent, because if they have NATO just on the side, they will be able to put their missiles on direct border with Russia, and also people have to comprehend that the maps are completely fake. So Russia is not that big, is huge, but it's not that big. If you take a line, everyone can do that on Google Map. Yeah, you take the side, you take a size. So Africa is larger in size than the longest part they claim about Russia. A lot of people, they fear this nuclear power, but there are no nuclear nukes. Yeah. We have exposed that in other videos. We will not go into that. But of course, this fear will be used, and maybe they will make a fake nuclear attack. That, of course, will scare everyone, and the critical thinking will be over instantly. This can be part of the big show, of course, but there are no nuclear nukes, and there are a lot of nukes that can really blow up a lot of a whole city or small countries even, no doubt. But this is not nuclear. That this fear will be used. Also, if it's the Third World War, the whole idea of Third World War is already going on since a while. Third World War is a hybrid war. It is information, it is mental, it is psychological, it is all this psychological operation that is going on through QAnon, to the whole Russian hatred, to Chinese hatred, to all the stuff that was going on over the 2 last years with all the measurements. That is all part of this whole agenda. And this is part of the war. People have to comprehend that this war is already going, and Third World War is the war to divide everyone for the even greater war coming. But this is another subject. We will not go into that, but stay focused on the conflict of Ukraine. So even Gorbachev is warning about the nuclear war over Ukraine. This have to be part of the whole hype, of course. Yeah, and of course everyone is hyped up now. Even a lot of different countries now try to like here in China want to probably or will probably soon attack Taiwan and declare Taiwan to be part of China. Another one is Azerbaijan. Yeah, they crossed the line of contact. No news there for the moment, but they're trying everywhere to build up now. And also, like in North Korea, he made really like this Hollywood show. There's a video online, you can watch it, but it's just funny. It's just part of this whole thing. And I mean Kim Jong and North Korea, they make that every year. They are part of that. They are part of this fear-mongering war agenda. And they claim they have this huge nuke. They pushed it 900 kilometers into the ocean in front of Japan. Yeah. So this is of course out of their territories, and again, every year the same fear-mongering. And also this Polish general Warsaw have the right to claim Kaliningrad. Kaliningrad is a little part here in Russia, in Lithuania, Poland, and through the sea. Yeah, this is their access to the sea on this side. But of course they have Belarus between, no direct connection, and all this country here. People ask why this even is part of it, but it is part, and the access as Crimea also, we go back to that too, why they have this little part there. And also Japan, yeah, military drill using Sujet, yeah, and trying to provoke others. All they are coming. Korea, tension in North. But to more comprehend where this whole conflict of Ukraine is coming from, so of course this is, they talk about the Middle Age when the Tsar have given these different parts to Ukraine, and even this Catherine the Great have annexed Crimea to Russia permanently. So Crimea was since 70, 80 part of Russia. And of course, when the whole wall starts to drop, they negotiate something. But just to come back here, this is like how Ukraine became. So they have one part, they get it from Lenin, one from Stalin, one from the Tsars, and in 54, I don't remember the name of this president, he just gave Crimea back to Ukraine as a gift. Yeah, so it is all quite difficult to say that this country already existed since a long time. It was just created between and part of Russia, and a lot of Russians live there. So when the Berlin Wall fell, and the USSR gets dissolved, they had an agreement with a lot of different diplomats, and one of them is Roland Dumas. He is here talking with Gorbachev to be sure that NATO will not come across to the border of Russia. So in 91 they had this revolution, and they created this so-called Ukraine. And in 2014, because they didn't agree with they elected Yahuchenkov. We will see him later, and he was promising that he was working with Europe. But when he got elected, they saw that Europe was not interested in Ukraine, and so he turned to Russia. And that is where this whole Maidan started. And this was in 2014. They blocked Kiev. This was the freedom place, how they call it. And they just smashed the whole thing up and burn it down and make barricades and fight the police, gunshots. There was very organized groups that was fighting the police and so on, up to snipers. I mean, we follow that directly, and this was really like, what the shit is going on, and who are these snipers just shooting at protesters. And this was really like nobody investigate even today what was really going on. This was 2014. They was shooting on people. A lot of people get killed. So this is Yanuchenkov. He is the president, and he had to go. He agreed, or they pushed him out. Yeah, and this was supported by Europe. Yeah, and so they even want to forbid the Russian, when a lot of people were born Russians, and they start to make agreements with this Vitaly, box champion, and this guy who sold Ukraine to Europe, yeah, straight up, America, Europe. This guy would put in place. Yeah, he was not elected, and he just started to sold out Ukraine. So since then, a lot of stuff happened. Also, everything what happened with Hunter Biden and this laptop that gets stolen and or was lost and or was repaired or whatever. But a lot of stuff was already there about Ukraine, and this was hush hush, and they'd really tried to hide the whole bullshit about Hunter Biden. But a lot of stuff is coming up now. So these emails, a lot of people say he was like fake, but he even insisted. The people from there, they insisted, and he get a lot of money, and of course the interest conflict and so on, and they put the whole thing on Trump because of the Russian bullshit that was just all fake. That was also to hide this whole part in it. Another thing is that this 2014, this Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 gets smashed by a missile, and all 283 passengers and 50 crew were killed. So this just happened also during this whole conflict, and they claimed it was the Russian, it was the separatist, and others saying it was even the Ukraine government to blame as false flag, to blame on things. So a lot of stuff happened in Ukraine since. Yeah, people just forget that, and it was also like the different analysis of the missile launch. So it had to be, how they just showed that it was impossible that it was the Russian, because the flight came from here, and it crashed there, and the rebels was here, so he was most probably shot by Ukraine. But of course, they don't really want to admit that they went something and also they don't talk about it anymore, and there was no really further investigation and so on. But again, this they have a lot of different stuff, and they say also that this book missile was shipped to Ukraine in 86. Also, we don't have to forget that a lot of Russian material stayed in Ukraine after the dissolvement of the Russian Federation. So that when they became independent, a lot of military material stayed in these different countries. So they have, of course, they have Russian material, but it was shipped, as we have other stuff that we can see, of course, and also the picture war to say that the bad Russians did something, but the missile was Ukraine, and also where it was shot, it could not be the Russian. So they, of course, try to pretend to make a legal action about this investigation, but nothing really happened. Nazis in Ukraine. That's, of course, a very sensitive subject, and we just can show what is really going on. So since Maidan, they had really they had a lot of provocateurs, like groups that were very good organized, and we had already saw that exactly with the same structure, same motivation, same symbols, and so on in this Maidan. But we have also seen in other so-called revolutions. But this Azov, we just can show here. This is the Azov, Azov Special Operation Detachment, Azov Battalion, and was like, I think they changed it because there was fighting Russian force. There was like a right wing. Let's just see when this was changed last. 14 April. Of course. Watch this. April. They changed it the whole time. Look. So let's just see what was what. Okay. Okay. Yeah, they change it like every day. No. Okay, they talk about right grammar, but let's just well, while the dogs were barking, I was looking around. I never saw a Wikipedia page this much redacted, but it is on the original here. The battalion drew controversy, allegations of torture and war crimes, as well as association with neo-Nazi ideology. The Azov used controversial symbols, including wolf's angle. This is this one from the Nazi SS division. So this is the logo they want to show here, and well, this is how they walk in the streets and so on, and become now an official division of the Ukraine military. But here we can see, this is the badge they have on the uniform, and here we can see the black sun. Black sun is a Nazi symbol, a type of sun wheel employing in Nazi Germany and later by neo-Nazis in some strain of Satanism. Well, the symbol's design consists in 12 radial rune similar to symbols employed by the SS in their logo in first appearance in Nazi Germany. Well, there you have it. And also, they identify themselves very much to this Bandera, Stepan Bandera. And here also just to show again das Reich. Here, well, we can see this one, and we can see this one. Yeah, a couple of them. I like that, and even here is another one. Here. Yeah. When the Ukraine here from Galicia was using this symbol, 44. Just to show this, yeah. Okay, let's move on. So here you can see Klitschko also with some guys of Azov, and they formed as militia in during Maidan. And here we can see also the Panzer Division symbol looks very similar. And also what is going on in Ukraine, many people don't know, but they put people, they say if they thieves or looters, they put them on a whole family on a pot and they beat them up. Yeah, they beat them up. This is what is going on in Ukraine right now. So all the people with their flag of Ukraine, they just have to know that there is some nasty stuff going on, and this is what the kind of lecture they use and symbols they have. And of course we have to be very carefully when this Russian propaganda is displaying stuff around. They could also place it there just to make the argument more important, but they officially say, and even Zelensky say on Stepan Bandera, he was one of those who defend the freedom of Ukraine. Bandera is a hero for a certain part of Ukraine, Zelensky says. And he even say Stepan Bandera is a hero for a certain part of Ukraine's, and this is normal and cool thing. So the Stepan Bandera is, they put him even as national hero, yeah. And just also to say this is the kind of guy.
Недооцениваете мои возможности.
А кто вы? Вы дипстейт, вы масон, вы реальный хозяин Украины? Кто вы на самом деле, Дмитрий Гордон?
Я член мирового правительства.
Вот.
This is one of the main journalists in Ukraine. And hundreds of Ukraine nationalists march in honor of Nazi collaborators.
This is the national militia when journalists aren't watching.
В масках с молотками, с битами, в куртках с надписью «Национальная дружина». Они кричали «Слава Украине», еще там какие-то свои лозунги. Начали здесь все просто громить. Полная разруха. Все было побито абсолютно.
We're given other footage, which shows more places being trashed, men lighting fireworks indoors, even setting one location on fire. The National Militia tell us they're working alongside the police, but they have also, on several occasions, fought them. Here they brawled and used pepper spray on officers. The National Militia are part of a group called Azov. Initially a volunteer military battalion, it has well-established links to the far right. Its founder, this man Andrei Beletsky, has in the past expressed racist and anti-Semitic views. And its logo has clear Nazi overtones.
My favorite quote from Andrei Beletsky is that the destiny of the Ukrainian nation is to be in avant-garde in holy war of white people against under humans led by Semites.
The National Militia have already been flexing their muscles in Ukrainian politics. This is the city hall in the town of Cherkasy. Look at it now. All round the outside are security officers. And the reason the police have come is because at the last session, this happened. The National Militia, together with some war veterans, turned up and stood among the deputies, announcing that no one would leave until the mayor's budget was passed.
Зараз Черкаси стали тренувальним майданчиком для військового перевороту в Україні. Для МВД то такого існувати в Україні не може.
This is him, Arsen Avakov, Ukraine's ambitious interior minister. His links to the Azov group are well known. He's put their fighters on the payroll of his ministry and appointed one of their commanders, Vadim Troyan, as his deputy.
Історія, вона повторюється, якщо ми подивимося, що відбувалося в Германії там 37-39 рік, да, коли воно фашизм тоді піднімався, то в принципі можна, от я б їх цим самим зрівняв.
So as you can see, we are not the only one who talk about this. But to better comprehend what is really going on in Ukraine and why they have kind of favor in for this Stepan Bandera. He is a national hero, even if he never lived in Ukraine, and well, he make a huge atrocity. You just can watch it up yourself, but it's definitely something that it didn't should happen there. But in Ukraine, this they had this Holodomor, and this was when the Russian they starve out millions of Ukrainians. So they took away all the food, and this is what Stalin did, not only with the Ukrainians, but with a lot of Russians too. This is part of the revolution many people don't even aware of, but many millions of people were starved to death. They took all the food away, they burned down the crops, and this was happening. So they have this kind of old reason to be scared of Russian, yeah. And so this was going on from 1932 to 1933, central and eastern Ukraine. And around 3 million, this is what they say, considered genocide by 16 countries, considered as criminal act, the Stalin regime, yeah. And this translated from Ukraine means dead by hunger. So this is what they faced in 33. So this is in many minds of Ukrainians is that the Russia did not good, yeah, and they say even 6 million perish in a Soviet famine, and this was created. Look up the history. Great Famine from 1932 to 1933 in Ukraine. Holodomor. 7 million to 10 million innocent life. Another nationalities who die starvation from the Volga River, Kazakhstan, in other parts from Soviet Union, and so on. And of course, as soon as the Germans came, this was a liberation from them, yeah. But this that happened almost 10 years later. So, but that's why a part of Ukraine are completely with with the side of Germany. And Germany and Ukraine, they have a long history anyway. And yeah, I mean, the propaganda is all over when they compare themselves as Ukraine would be like Nazi Germany. Again, when they destroyed themselves. So, yeah, they openly really show what they have, but the Russians too. Russians also have, Putin also have a neo-Nazi problem, yeah. And Vladimir Putin says there was nothing wrong with Soviet Union pact with Adolf Hitler's Nazi Germany. Again, they was, of course, in hand. Putin makes it illegal to compare Soviets to the Nazis as whitewashes Stalin genocide in bizarre new law. So the new law that just came out is that, of course, if someone look into the end of the Second World War, the Russians were there to make a lot of the dirty work. And how they did it also, people can just look it up. I mean, this is the other side of the story. And there's a lot of stuff is going on. When Stalin was killing, they say 40 million people of his own who finished in Gulag. So now the new law is even saying that you can't criticize this, and the new law, even in Russia now, is if you criticize the military, you can get 50 years in jail, or if you disperse what they call a fake news. That's why all the news company went out. And on the other side, we have what they call Putin's bloodhound, blood dog, Karitov, yeah, well, what his name is, and it's the Chechen. So we really have to ask ourselves. They are specialized in urban conflict, but where I mean, yeah, the Chechen, they had a long war, but this ends in 2006, I think. So we really have to ask ourselves, where do they train? Yeah, they have a huge army, all with black clothed, specialized warriors who are actually now in Ukraine, cleansing out house by house to find they so call it Ukraine neo-Nazis. But if they are specialized, they would have to train a lot, but not if they would have done it in combat zone, we really have to ask where. So this Karidov, he is of course one of these rich guy who nobody knows where he really get the money from. He paid he paid 4 millions to get the box champion into his thing, and he is his friends. Yeah, these are the friends of who pays him. Yeah, and for what? Yeah, he went. This is his private jet, and he went 14 times only in 2021, 22. Sometimes with Rapid Timothy on board. Yeah. So, who is this jet setter fighter, blood dog for Kadyrov? Yeah, Kadyrov. And he have a villa in Dubai. Yeah, this is he have his own villa in Dubai, and jets and everything. Chechens are fighting on both sides of the war in Syria. Forces fight to fight ISIS. Or are they ISIS? Because if they are used to fight in urban combat, the ones who really made this was ISIS itself. Chechen fighters get behind ISIS line to spy for Russians. This is, yeah, so everyone can ask themselves, who are they really, yeah. ISIS top Chechen militant, yeah, is a Chechen, is an ISIS guy, and so on. So they are infiltrated, and today they are making the first line. Again, they are infiltrated, of course, big time. And if you remember the Boston explosion, they blamed also a Chechen or two Chechen guys, and with these nasty pictures. With, I mean, this is complete nonsense. You would never do that. But they accused also this was two Chechen guys who are supposed to explode a bomb there. And on Putin also he have another, this Zirinovsky, Europe, you shall tremble. He threatens the West. He is the right-wing populist, leader of Russia's Liberal Democratic Party, one of Putin's 7 challenges in the presidential election. Well, he was a good friend with Putin. He was because, yeah, he passed away in a week ago or something like that. But you can see the symbols. They, yeah, with a friend with Jean-Marie Le Pen from France, like the right-wing pig. And here, this is Ukraine. So he cut already. Look, he cut it with a knife. He say already this one will be Ukraine, and this one will be part of Russia. And this was like 2017 or something like that. So he just say, yeah, we leave them 1/3. Well, we'll see if that is what is going to happen. And there is some kind of idea behind this intervention also in Ukraine, and that's not an idea from yesterday, but this would call Novo Russia, yeah, like new Russia, and this is exactly where this is part of Ukraine, would be a new Russia. So Kiev would be here, and how we saw before, he cut the cake like this, and this would like become this idea of Nova Russia that is already around a while. And yeah, again, the fake medias, they announced already his death when he was like going into hospital and only dying 1 week later. And that shows just how hungry the Western media are to inflict damage on the Russia. So again, this is the actual situation. That is where the biggest fight was going on in the past days. They retire here again, and where they claim they have a huge conflict. But the armed conflict in eastern Ukraine started 2014. It has since killed over 14,000 people, forced millions to relocate, and turned the conflict zone into the world's most mined, contaminated area. So there are mines everywhere even the farmers, they have to check with the mining, demining first, because it doesn't fit. And they have agreement since 2015, where they want to have a ceasefire, and this ceasefire was never respected. So Putin intervened, and this is what it looks like since 2014. These are not pictures from. This is how it looks since then. Even schools are bombarded and so on. And this is Ukraine army who do that. So this is an attack from Ukraine army into Ukraine territory, and they blame the Russia.
عند هذه النقطة ما أزال أرى مزيد من سيارات الإسعاف في هذه الجهة تصل.
And here we can see something very interesting. Here we can see ambulance coming, and look who is coming out of the ambulance. It's army. Yeah, so they're even hiding in ambulances. Yeah, so the techniques of the Ukraine army is really questionable. Yeah? Let's go back if we have something more here. Something was bugging. Okay. And this is who is supposed to be the president. This is Zelensky. Playing piano with his penis. He had a TV show. So now to see him on the world stage playing politicians, does quite fit. Yeah. Come on. With all the symbolism. This is the president of Ukraine. Well, people really have to ask the question what kind of stuff is around them. Come on. And also, I like this whole censorship that is going on over about Russia itself. In Russia, I mean, you have huge censorship. You go to protest against the war, you get arrested, and also the whole fake news law that came out. A news organization, they just left. Of course, we don't have a fake news law here in Europe, by the way, and in America too. So no news can get prosecuted for spreading fake news. That's quite interesting too. And also, like the whole censorship and control in Russia is tremendous, yeah. Face recognition for a metro, paying for a ride in Russia capital just get easier. So they are, if people are saying Russia is a nice country and so on, they are moving ahead like mad for the whole agenda. Yeah, nothing is different there than anywhere else. And Russia have, I mean, they had gulags. Yeah, Gulag was like the worst prison, and this looks quite nice compared to the reality of the prisons. I mean, inside the punishment and so on, torture. Watch some documentary about prisons in Russia. I mean, this is the ones who are sent there. I'm not sure if they're really coming back healthy. Yeah? And Medvedev, the ex president of Russia, vows to reintroduce death penalty. So welcome to Russia. Russian President Vladimir Putin also revealed as a Soviet stunt actor. So he also was an actor, Soviet stunt actor. Rahim himself claimed to have appeared in more than 100 films throughout his career. Former Duma deputy, who also worked alongside Putin, said that as student, the novice performer had made good money for their days on set, had played the role of both German and Soviet soldiers. And Putin is a friend of Klaus Schwab. Yeah? And the ones who didn't hear this intervention, just listen Klaus Schwab, what he is saying about Putin.
And I have to say, when I mention now names like Mrs. Merkel, even Vladimir Putin and so on, they all have been young global leaders of the World Economic Forum. Mm-hmm. But what we are very proud of now is the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau, and I know that half of this cabinet, or even more half of this cabinet, are actually young global leaders of the.
So Putin is also one of these global leader, young global leader, and he will. Even if they claim he is no longer part, or they are cutting the ties with Russia, this is all part of the Great Reset. As Zelensky, as the Brazilian, as Canadian, as American, they are all French, of course, they are all part, Trump too. All friends of the great project, yeah, like the Chinese, all part of the Great Reset. So people have to keep in mind, Putin is not against the globalist, he is part of the global agenda. Moscow, 13 October, Russia will take a leading role in shaping the trajectory of the Fourth Industrial Revolution. So Davos claimed to cold shoulder to Russians over Ukraine invasion, but yeah, they didn't forum freeze all relations. Freeze doesn't mean cut, yeah. It's just a little bit warmer weather and everything is okay again. Russian President Vladimir Putin met with World Economic Forum Executive Chairman Klaus Schwab in St. Petersburg. Yeah. We have always maintained relations with your forum that our founded. We will continue to support it. And of course, Russia representatives have always taken part and will take part in the event you hold. Yeah, people can just read what Schwab is saying. and divide to rule. So they need the bad guy to push the good guy. So let's get into fake news and this kind of stuff. Of course, we have to be very careful because, like, yeah, everything can be faked today. And also recognizing fake propaganda and so on. And we admit we sometimes also get fooled and correct ourselves in all this stuff. But it's important to recognize that this stuff, or nothing on a screen anyway, is proof of fact. So we need more than one stuff. Like one of them was this video when they show a fake or pretend with the subtitle "Ukraine Health Ministry claim dead," and then you see like one is faking the dead here. This was a protest in Austria and had nothing to do with this here. Then another, they started from the beginning, from Kiev, with the military helmet, and the tourists continue to live. This is the complete, perfect way how to fearmonger, and this looks just stupid. And also the guy who was claimed dead in an explosion of Afghanistan is now in Ukraine, and so on. Like also like this, a boat was sinked, and media was happy about it, but they just came back again. Another picture is from La Stampa. They used the picture and claimed this was a Russian attack, even if it was, and even. In Kiev, and even the wrong place, and it was definitely Ukraine who shot their own people. And also like this shopping mall, they hit a shopping mall and claimed many people died, and it was empty, and even the pictures get out where we can see that there was military equipment in the whole mall. The mall was obviously half empty, and they put military equipment in it. So people, if they claim that this is war crime because they shoot on targets, we also have to know why they shoot on these targets. And in this case, there was military equipment there. And of course, the Western media shout, there was a war crime again, and they showed clearly that it was this was the place where the Ukrainians had their shooting place, and finally they shoot on the targets, and you can see also that they had military equipment, like the full garage was full with military equipment, and they exploded. Other thing is that there are a lot of young journalists on the front, and they are very much pushed by Russia. Now, are they really paid? Are they really just sympathizer, or are they really just whatever? We can see a lot of them. They just emerging from everywhere, sharing all the same stuff, and this is the same controlled opposition that we already had with many other examples. She is now already on 120 or 130,000 followers. So they will never give a partial insight of what is really going on, and because they already choose a side, and they choose the side of Russian in this case, they are under the law of not spreading fake news, so they will only show the good side, so-called good side of the Russia, and only the bad side of the Ukraine, and never if they will fail or make atrocities. And I mean, it is war. A lot of people get killed, and the Russian propaganda, they take really care that they didn't show any atrocities, but only like helping people, and it's true. I mean, the only ones who provide food and stuff to people in need in Ukraine are the Russians and not the Ukrainians. But on the other side, they are destroying all the houses. I mean, this is a little bit, they justified what they are doing, and this is what we have to comprehend, that everyone on each side is always defending their own part, as we know it from ego anyway. And of course, Russia is claiming to make a surgical strike, in Ukraine, and this is not the case. I mean, the whole cities and villages are destroyed, and we will also see why this is really happening. So, of course, Russia is making a lot of propaganda to attract the young people and to defend their, and also on either side, they're not telling how much people really died in this whole war. This is also on one side to not discredit yourself or your army or your reason why you are fighting. On the other side, to not demotivate the troops, and on the other side, to not get bad propaganda. So this is always, you never know what really is under and still hidden, and a lot of people are dying on all sides. This is no doubt. And what they are saying when they make surgical strike, we know this argument already from the surgical strike of the Americans. Yeah, I mean they make exactly the same claims when they bombarded like Iraq intervention. This was they destroyed the whole city. Yeah, in one night. This was, and then like with also Obama, he said like with all his drone strikes that this was just like to kill the bad guys. This never happened in war. What is going on here? Okay. Dubai. Very. So here we can see what that they are hiding in houses instead to go in battlefields. I mean, this is yeah.
Get inside the house. Get inside.
And these are mercenaries. Look.
We gotta get inside. Huh? Move. We're good? Get inside. Go.
So this is supposed to be the Ukrainian army.
Right.
And they're just going into houses. Well, and private car, look, or a cab or something. but these are not military vehicles. So, of course, they are going into houses, and all the Russians can do is shoot on the houses. And here, even they are inside of where people are living, and they put carpet on their tanks, yeah, in the middle of the city. So this is how Ukraine is defending this way. So they put their tanks in the middle of where people are living and shoot from there. And the only way to get rid of them is shooting on houses. Another example here, yeah, you can see here is a tank, and they're shooting from houses. So the only way to reply is to shoot on the houses, and that's why all these houses are destroyed. So we always have to see why this stuff all happening. And of course, one of the thing many people was talking, or the mainstream was talking about, is about Bucha. Of course, this place was not chosen by accident. Yeah, it was the Bucha need to have the even the English term into that. Everything for the whole mainstream propaganda is important, all these slogans and so on. So here we have on 29th of March, the Russians went out of Bucha, yeah, this place where this massacre happening, where they say the Russians raped and killed a lot of people and so on. But on the 29th, the Russians went out. On the 13th, there was a meeting between the Russians and the Ukraine, and they promised to go out of it. And on the 3rd, they went out of it. On the 31st of March, the mayor of Bucha celebrated liberation. And he said nothing about the dead people in the streets and so on. The 1st April, pictures in the street, nothing over the dead. The 2nd April, the troops, special troop, Ukrainian, have a safari and want to clean the city. We're going to that after. On the 3rd, they start to tell the story that the Russians are killing people and leaving people dead in the streets. And on the 3rd April, the leaders of Western start to say that this or prepare already new sanctions without having any facts about it, just the media who talk about it.
Російські нелюди вбили десятки цивільних, коли тікали звідти. За словами Новікова, група допомагає
So this was the media who talk about, and you see dead bodies all over, and some even say that he moved the hand, so he was not dead, but this also gets debunked. It is just a water on the window. You can see it's going further away. So this also get debunked. And then they show this kind of picture and say there is mass graves, huge mass grave in mass graves there. Here. So this is, and they found a couple of bodies there. Definitely, we are not saying that is not the case, but they're showing like this kind of picture, and they never explained what that behind is. And if we watch closer, you can see here behind, these are containers, or water containers, or rocks. You can see there are rocks, impaled rocks, just for preparing construction, or I don't know what. But they're just showing this way, and this is how they do it. And then, of course, the media invited to discover the horror. And here, this also goes like 7 minutes, is the Ukraine Special Safari Army who goes into Bucha on the second, and here you can see a body here, but this is a military one. But then nothing, just cars, broken cars, they verified, and some neighbors who tell some stories, but nothing about the dead bodies in the street. Yeah, and they are cleaning out the thing. People are talking about, but they are not really saying what is. Nothing about the horror that was coming out days later. Okay, so this is important to keep in mind. Further on, Major of Bucha declares city liberated. This was on the 31st. A video addressed Major Antonelli declared his city liberated from Russian orcs. Major made no mention of any purpose Russian war crimes in this celebratory speech. So this is the day after, 2 days after, they come up with this kind of thing, yeah. And I mean, they claim these deaths are already there since almost 2 weeks. And bodies looks just different.
Невероятно храбрые, самые лучшие воины этого мира, военнослужащие украинской армии. Что мы...
And what is this? This was on the Ukraine. This was on the Ukraine television, where they just put bodies in place. And here we can see another. Here we can see another thing that, I mean, here you have a white bandage, and the white bandage, yeah, the Russian have that. And also what we can see are these boxes, these boxes here. So a couple of victims, they have these boxes, they have the hand tails together. I mean, it's nasty. Don't get emotional by looking at that. But these are these boxes prisoners get when they are coming from, when they get caught. The Russians are giving these boxes to people, and that's why so many people get killed there, because they considered as Russian collaborators. And also here, and then Russian calls over Security Council and UN, and nobody is interested. They made 2 or even 3 times they demand that somebody investigate that thing, that incident. And instead to make investigation, Zelensky addressed on the UN Security Council. Even Ukraine is not part of it. And then they come up with these satellite pictures, yeah, with the Maxa technology, and they claim that they found bodies on the 19th of March of this in the city. So they claim they have this satellite picture, but when you ask them to look at the days 20 March, 21st, and so on, they are not giving out any pictures anymore about this part. So the date stamp, again, people are trusting technology and screen thing. We are not trusting anything like that. But they are putting everything in. It was very, very good prepared to make the argument. But I mean, if this body was laying down there in the street, everybody in this place would talk about it. Yeah, I mean, they are there for 2 weeks. People are still there, and even in the video, you can see people are walking around. So this doesn't really make up things. And if he comes then and play the comes out, and when he is in front of camera, I mean, he is an actor. Yeah, the Zelensky guy is really, yeah. And the Special Force Regiment Safari clearing operation in Bucha from saboteurs and accomplices of Russia. What does this mean? This means they're going to kill everyone who was with the Russian when the Russian was there. And here also we can see another picture from a newspaper when Ukraine soldiers from Azov battalion walked through the remains of Russian military convoy in the recently liberated town of Bucha. I mean, they are not really walking around. It doesn't look like, or it is another picture from another moment, but at least Azov, who torture people today, even still today in Ukraine, was there before. Then also like this fake news mainstream stuff where someone posted out a picture of Ukraine girl who put herself in action, and she said, could have been me. Yeah, could have been any of us raped and killed by Russian just for being Ukrainian. Yeah, so she just put herself in yeah, and they took it up and think it was really, and this is how this stuff is spreading. And when all these journalists came to Bucha, they came to picture the cat. Yeah, the cat always steals the show. And then another other thing that is happening in or happened in Kramatorsk, yeah, where again they are saying that the Russians attack this whole humanitarian convoy, and they found also again this this Ukraine weapon that came from Russia, but they found the serial number on it, and it just fit to be in possession of Ukraine. So again, they don't talk too much about it because this was a little bit too obvious if it went wrong. And here we have other yeah, we can say propaganda action where they claim that the Russians bombarded this hospital, and they bring out a lot of people where they say there was inside was not only a hospital but was even to give birth, and this hospital was already empty a while. Yeah, it looked like it was huge, but it looks more like a bomb. And they say they didn't hear anything about it. Then outcry over Mariupol maternity hospitals bombing, which killed 3 people. Yeah, I mean, if this was really full of women giving birth, it would have, with this kind of explosion, it would just have destroyed way more thing. So again, this looks very much like a staged thing, and of course she was used very much and interviewed straight on. There was journalists on place, she say, and she is she is like a influencer on Instagram or something like that. But she was there to give, definitely she was there to give birth, and then she said that the whole story was misused completely. There was ongoing things about fake news and what who was talking about. But again, this is like put behind, and she admit that in an interview where she said that her words was completely misused. Then we have a lot of mercenaries in Ukraine from all over, and they talked about these mercenaries even openly, when usually mercenaries, you don't announce this, but this is all part of this whole provocation. A son of a British MP in Ukraine to fight against the Russian invasion. Americans who fight there. 60,000 mercenaries join Ukraine against Russia. He made even a public announcement. They was even talking in Switzerland that they want to go to fight there. Even it was illegal in Switzerland, and something should be done that people could go to Ukraine. This is all okay. And many went. Even some kids, they went there. Even they thought they just played on their PlayStation, and now they want to go fight the Russians there. And many others, private Russian mercenaries likely deployed to fight in Ukraine. Yeah, Putin's soldier, even Putin, everyone, even he wants to take, he was talking about that the ISIS fighter are invited to come to fight. And yeah, this is like how they propose 1,000 to 2,000 per day plus bonus in Ukraine. Yeah, contract, extradition, protective agents. Ukraine was searching for, and a lot of them are actually in Ukraine. Some of them they even maybe high-ranking people who are caught up now in the fight. They can go out. They was trying to get out and so on.
Now, I don't know if you guys know what this is behind me, but that's a Russian tank. Russian tank that was taken out. Welcome to America. Welcome to America. Another day in paradise. Got a couple guys that got shot just a little while ago. Brought him to the rear with a tank. Got my man right there, my commander. He's got the USA patch on the shoulder. Got burning buildings. We got mortars. We got rockets. We got all the fun stuff to make it a beautiful day.
Making a beautiful day. Welcome to paradise. Yeah, playing cowboy in Ukraine. And this guy is even on Twitter and so on. I didn't check today if he's still there, but again, the guy was talking about a Russian tank in his video, and it was in fact a Ukrainian tank. So even Portugal, a neo-Nazi under jurisdictional control, authorized to leave to fight in Ukraine. Yeah, everything is okay now today, no matter what. This is just go on. On the other side again, the Russian propaganda who shows this kind of picture and say the Russians the Ukraine, they hold back people on their bridge and so on for a human shield. But when you look, troops and volunteers allegedly blocked thousands of civilians leaving the city of Irpin. Ban on evacuation refugees has been reported in Ukrainian cities. Yeah, but if you look on the other side, it's just very difficult to get over this bridge, and because the bridge is broken. Yeah.
Щойно розвиднюється, люди намагаються вибратися з Ірпеня. По факту це єдиний шлях, яким можна вийти хоча б пішки, попри це тут постійно чути стрілянину, ведеться вогонь, зокрема працює авіація. Військові, до речі, сказали, що зранку нанесли.
So again, watch out for the propaganda. Something else that is very strange is about these mines. So just watch this.
Ебать сердце, сука, ебашит. Ты шо нахуй? Охренеть.
Even just to pick it up, I would never suggest to do this. But if you look further, there was also this video where they allegedly put mines on the highway. They are not fixed, nothing, and they are, yeah. What is really going on? I mean, I would not even stand there to film, yeah. But the funny part, or yeah, is more funny. If you look.
Знамениті на весь Facebook міни, щоб так як люди не цей. Територію вже нашу.
I mean.
Я це показувати не буду, але людям, які їхали, краще було це розсунути, ніж їхати зверху. Слава Україні.
Yeah. I would say something is strange with these mines, and so even more strange. Watch this. Yeah, just to say that they say that these mines were Russian mines, but Russian have this kind of mine. They can even fly it over and shoot it, and they stick. They claim that they can make the difference between soldier and private people or animals. We doubt a big time. But these are the mines Russian would use. And now this one. So he say they don't explode. So we would not suggest to try it out, definitely not. But the amount that is there, and yeah, maybe they're just gone. No idea, but this is a strange detail. And another one is a guy who hit what looks like, yeah, let's be honest, looks like some rockets, and he claimed to hit on it. And they don't explode. Yeah, rockets do not explode if you hit on the side. You would have to hit on the top of it. But again, we also have to think about if what could be really staged and real. I mean, they used in World War II, they used inflammable tanks and missiles and stuff to impress the enemy. About these biolabs in Ukraine also, yeah, I mean, there are biolabs everywhere, and what they are really doing in there, I mean, we have the poison already. I mean, the biggest poison are already the medication people are taking every day, and what creates the most of death. So the fear of this biological weapon stuff is all based on the same story as the virus. I mean, we Yeah, we need to look at the facts, not about the horror stories. Yeah, I mean, it is always the same thing, that they just like to distract it all the time with some new stuff, but the old stuff can, of course, not go away. That's why these biolabs. Another thing that just they talk about this chemical attack and so on. This is, of course, one time a fear. On the other side, they want to use and try new stuff. So, I mean, this definitely could be when they claimed it was a chemical attack. That was not the case, because a lot of Russians are now in Mariupol. They would not make it there. They would make it where there are no Russians. But what the Russians found, again, is Russian propaganda. We have to take care. Maybe these drones.
При плановом осмотре территории одной из оставленных вооруженными силами Украины воинской части.
So they found these drones that can lift up to 40 kilo and put 30 liter of substance with sprays on it. If this is really military equipment, well, we cannot confirm, or we cannot, I mean, they just show it here by a military, again. This could also be what they use. They use that for spraying crop, for example. So this could also be something completely different. But just to, this would be more the kind of chemical danger that could be. And I mean, tear gas is chemical weapon. Yeah, I mean, they use so much tear gas that they don't even consider this as a chemical weapon. On the other side, again, as Putin, they are all in the same club, in this Shabbat Lubavitch. And again, this is have nothing to do with Jews. This have to do with messianic sect. Yeah, this Shabbat Lubavitch is a sect. It's not the Jewish people in itself, but they are very influential. They are everywhere. Yeah, I mean, they have this. They even call it the Putin's rabbi. But on the other side, he is exactly influenced also, and Zelensky is claimed to be Jew. So now the question is, how can it be with the president who is Jew to support neo-Nazis? Well, the answer is very simple. The answer is that where we have it somewhere. Oh, maybe not. No. We just can say because there is this huge right wing in Ukraine. To stay president, you have to please everyone. So that's why he accepts this kind of thing, to be on this place, because as we already said in the previous video, the only way why these people are on the top of this thing is because they accept the kind of contract. Yeah, this is always the same. This influential sect is everywhere. So Ukraine vs Russia, people really have to comprehend that everything is directed still by Rome. This have nothing to do with this Jewish conspiracy. Who people say that the Jews are behind everything. This all of them, they play their kind of part in it. But this is where corruption is really organized. Yeah, I mean, this is what is really going on. And even he wants to come. Yeah, Pope Francis and Russian Patriarch Kirill could be negotiator. And this is exactly where they want to go. They want to push so much conflict and tension that even the Pope have to go to make peace on earth. Yeah, then people will start again to maybe respect. Pope in the middle of Russia-Ukraine crisis. Pope Francis meeting with the Russian embassy and on Ukraine crisis was a hand on papal gesture with no recent precedent. So the papacy is back on global politics. We will see what is more come. Ukraine would welcome papal visit. Vatican mediation to avert war. In February. Was not even started then. But on the 16th, Zelensky, he said that they will make full package on the eastern of Ukraine and eliminate the terrorists, how we call them. Naming and shaming, Russia not part of Pope's diplomacy playbook. Yeah. But Pope want to play his role. So again, we have showed in the end time video what the goal is. There is of course also this whole messianic agenda behind, and the idea that great war have to happen for the Messiah to return. But this would be for another video. So let's finish with some music. So to resume, it is important to stay focused on what the plan is really about. Of course, to get this new world order, they need to destroy the old structure, and this is exactly what is happening now, to destroy the Europe and America, and yeah, much more thing will come, but this is all part of the whole plan. I mean, they switch now from one plan to another, repeat them, and this ritual will just go on until they finished their whole idea of this new world order. So it's not only about the gas, it's not about the territory, it's not about the resources in its own, but it's the whole package they want to bring now and use and reuse to really implement this idea of the Great Reset, New World Order, and bring everything to their dedication. And I mean, this whole pandemic crisis is not over. They will come back to it when they will use it again, and will create another crisis over it, the food crisis, the money crisis, more and more will come now, but it's to comprehend that they are still on their agenda, and mostly never to take part in their agenda and their thing, to take side, to justify someone, to put out the facts about what they are doing and the inconsistency of the facts they are trying to represent and the arguments they are making, and at the end to watch like who is really taking profit out of it. So thanks for watching. See you soon.